Hey YouTube, it's gonna be another Megan Meier video. I know it's been a while since I made one, but here we go.
Well, 7 Eastern on CNN. Doesn't anybody deserve a government that works?
In Crime and Punishment tonight, deliberations began in Los Angeles.
This is on CNN back in '08 probably, or '07, I don't know, '06 maybe. This video was uploaded in '08.
Today in what some people have called the MySpace suicide trial. The woman who's at the center of the case could spend decades in prison if she's convicted. Now, the crime involves...
That would have been good. Decades. More than a decade. How about for life? Or at least 30 or 40 years. It still won't bring back Megan. But still, Lori Drew deserves that because she is a bitch.
Computer. But is the government blaming the woman for a tragedy that was beyond her control? We're going to talk to CNN's senior legal analyst, Jeff Toobin, in just a moment. First, though, the story.
She should have known what she did was wrong, but she didn't think twice. She just thought, oh, I'm going to bully this girl. This will be fun. It's not funny. A lot of people think this is funny. Is this funny? No. No, it's not funny. No way.
Lori Drew is not charged with murder, but the parents of Megan Meier are convinced she pushed their troubled 13-year-old daughter to suicide.
Probably her mother and father will talk in this. The one you hear more from is Tina Meier, the mother. You hear more from Tina than you do Ron. Ron was in a few of these videos, but they got divorced, and Tina formed the Megan Meier Foundation, so she is more visible and more known than Ron Meier is.
As if my daughter would have killed herself with a gun. They loaded the gun for her.
That's a little messed up, you know? Listen.
Their troubled 13-year-old daughter to suicide.
As if my daughter would have killed herself with a gun. They loaded the gun for her.
Megan Meier.
That's unacceptable.
Hanged herself in her bedroom in 2006. Now, 2 years later, Drew awaits the outcome.
So it's probably, yeah, it was probably uploaded in '08 because it was in '06 when the tragedy happened.
In what has become an extraordinary and extremely emotional trial.
This case is yet another lesson teaching us that malicious acts may have unforeseen but very serious consequences.
Federal prosecutors say Drew conspired with her daughter and an 18-year-old woman to bully and torment Megan on the internet.
First it was sweet and innocent. You got Lori Drew, Sarah Drew, and Ashley Grills. The daughter is Sarah Drew, who I think was 3 days younger than Megan, maybe. Excuse me. But I'm going to tell you something after this.
Prosecutors allege they used a fake MySpace page to trick Megan into thinking that a boy named Josh Evans liked her.
You know, I would have been like a big brother to Megan if I could have gone back in time to this day to save her. I would have taken her out for some ice cream and cheered her up a little bit, and then told her just to remove Josh Evans. He's not real. Then I would have gone to the Drews and said, "Hi, Josh Evans, how have you been?" and called the cops, you know, because it's messed up.
Megan had no idea there was no such person as Josh Evans.
He thought she was really pretty, posted on her comments on her pictures, you know, this is beautiful, your eyes are beautiful.
But when the fictitious...
Megan does have beautiful eyes and a beautiful smile and beautiful hair. She had a beautiful smile. You know, a lot of guys think that girls with braces are ugly, but Megan's smile, even with or without braces, I bet you anything was beautiful. You know, talking about this story with Megan, there is something I want to point out, is that Megan was only 13. So if anyone's watching this and they're getting cyberbullied, do not take your own life. Megan didn't deserve what she got. And I'm going to tell you why in a minute.
Boy suddenly ended their online relationship, telling her the world would be a better place without her. Megan became deeply distraught and took her own life. The trial is being heard in Los Angeles because, even though the case unfolded in Missouri, The headquarters for MySpace is in LA. Drew is charged with 1 count of conspiracy and 3 counts of accessing protected computers without authorization to obtain information to inflict emotional distress. Drew has not admitted playing any role in the internet hoax, and there was conflicting testimony about that in the trial.
All you have to do is get a lie detector test. If she takes it and fails, then she's a lying bitch.
Drew's defense attorney says she is innocent of the charges and has been
I think she bribed him to say that.
vilified for simply not reading the MySpace Terms of Agreement.
Well, she should have read it. Because the terms of agreement is not to fake hoax someone.
During closing arguments, he told the jury, "It's not a homicide case. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a computer case, and that's what you need to decide."
This lawyer needs to be sacked. Her attorney needs to be sacked.
If convicted, Drew faces a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison.
Yeah, that would have been perfect. 20 years in prison when she was 46. Should have gone out when she's 66.
Kind of a crazy story. So what do you think? Did Lori Drew drive Megan Meier to suicide, or
I believe she did.
prosecutors railroading her for what amounts to a computer crime? Let's get right to our expert joining us, the CNN senior legal analyst Jeff Toobin. If you listen to the prosecutors, their position is it was murder. If you look at sort of positioning it that way, if you look at the defense attorneys, they say this is a computer crime. What is it? What do you think it is?
This is such a hard case legally. It's actually pretty simple morally. I mean, what Lori Drew did was appalling at any human level. But the question is,
yeah, how about an adult? An adult should know what's right and what's wrong.
Does the legal system have the tools to...
They said the world will be a better place without you, and that's just sickening. That's what people have said to me. I'm going to tell you about that in a minute.
to convict her for it? And I think that's very much an open question. Because, the Missouri prosecutors looked at this and said, look, as bad as this behavior was, we can't find a crime that this fits under. But even though it's on the other side of the country, the Los Angeles prosecutors said, well, we're going to charge this essentially as defrauding MySpace, the service provider, by abusing the system in this way. Now, I don't know if that will fly legally.
When you listen to the defense team, they say, well, you can't violate the terms of MySpace because nobody reads those terms.
Well,
That's kind of an odd argument, isn't it?
It's an odd argument, but it also happens to be true. Remember, this is a crime. This is a specific intent crime, which means you have to intentionally violate a legal duty that you have. Well, how do you know what your legal duty is if you haven't read the agreement? Now, everybody clicks through I agree on all those forms, and none of us read it. But none of us are criminally prosecuted either for the outcome here. So that's one of the aspects of the case that's so peculiar.
The little girl was emotionally fragile. She had problems, and it turns out in court that some people knew about those problems. What kind of a role does that play? Not in the moral argument, as you point out, which is very clear, but in the legal argument.
Well, again, it makes it harder for the prosecution. We've seen a series of cases involving technology and crime where we think that, for example, a video game or a movie. Remember the Natural Born Killers case,
Right,
where
doesn't
people
cause someone to do something.
Right.
Why would it make it harder for the prosecution? She's emotionally fragile. It's like handing the girl a gun, as her father said.
But because causation is very hard to prove. Depressed people commit suicide. You never know what the trigger is going to be. Proving causation on anything where there is not direct evidence is very hard. And so here, it's hard as well.
Are we sort of seeing this new ground? I mean, we are forging new ground, and maybe something will come out of this case, regardless of how it goes, that'll say, okay, in cases like this, because this will not, sadly, be the last.
Every new technology creates new law with it.
Okay, basically what I want to say about the internet is it was mostly used to communicate with people, like it was meant to email and show you where you are or where you wanted to go, and now it's used to cyberbully, which is evil.
Telephones had created a whole new set of laws. Video has changed laws, and of course we know all about DNA. This is an unusual case, fortunately, and it may be that it is so unusual that the legal system simply is incapable of
Maybe people were actually bored of using or looking up that stuff, and then they just decided maybe a social media will be up. I'm gonna be honest. I have a MySpace, but I don't use it. No one uses MySpace anymore. MySpace is dead. MySpace died like in 2010. I quit using MySpace because I preferred Facebook. People said, I don't use my MySpace anymore. I was at lunch and they said, I just use my Facebook. Yeah. First, I didn't know how to use my YouTube. It's the first site I got. Then after YouTube, I got MySpace. Then after MySpace, I got Facebook. I also have Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram. I prefer Tumblr over Twitter. My favorite social medias are YouTube, Facebook. I like Tumblr, but I also like Instagram.
applying a
People
remedy.
harass people online. Maybe not to the point where they commit suicide, but certainly it happens all the time. I mean, is there going to be a new sort of...
There might be, but you know the phrase, don't make a federal case out of it. I mean, there is an argument that, parents should get
That's because it's a federal
involved.
prosecutor. You just didn't want to deal
Well,
with
no,
it.
but it's hard. I mean, it's really, it's true. Prosecutors tend to be conservative in these areas.
And people, they said the world would be a better place without you. This is what they said to Megan. Everybody in O'Fallon knows who you are. You're a bad person. Everyone hates you. Have a shitty rest of your life. The world will be a better place without you. And then I think she said, you're the type of guy a girl would kill herself over. And I'm like, no guy's worth killing themselves over. I had a girlfriend who was crazy at one point, and she said that if I died, she would kill herself to be with me. She said, kill myself to be with him. And I live in Washington. She used to live in Washington, but then she moved all the way over to Pennsylvania. And we dated for about a month. Then she broke up with me. Got back together. She got forced to break up with me. We got back together. I left her because I was sick. I was sick of her bull crap in the end. And then I got with this beautiful girl. I'm gonna go shopping for a 5-year anniversary. But that's all. That's besides the point now. Now let's get back to this.
Because they know that to prove someone guilty of a crime, you need a lot of evidence.
Yes or no? She goes to prison or no?
I would say no.
I wish she would, because she deserves it.
See how it turns out. Jeff Tubin, thanks
All
as
right.
always. Still ahead, Anderson's hero. Going to meet the person who inspires him. Just who is it? We'll give you the answer coming up. Plus, want a ticket to the inauguration? Want to play...
That was all due to the Megan Meier story, but that's more on Megan Meier, and I'm going to tell you something. Megan Meier was called a fat cow and an elephant. Boys would stomp behind her in the line, call her a fat cow and an elephant. A boy should know that girls are the reason you're alive. But, though, the world will be nothing without girls. Though, the world will be nothing without the love of Jesus Christ. Here's one more thing I'd like to point out. To all you out there, if you're suffering from depression, do not take antidepressants. They don't help. Do not drink. Do not smoke weed. That will not help. Do not drink alcohol to forget about it. Do not do any of that bad stuff. Well, that's all I have for now. Oh yeah. My story. In first grade, people I had some friends in second grade. I had some friends in third grade. I had some friends, and in fourth grade, I started losing friends. In fourth grade, kids would write on bookmarks and say, "Do not know anything surreal." And I looked at it, and it broke my heart that someone would actually write that on a bookmark. It said, "Do not know anything surreal." I used to come home crying and tell my mom that I was bullied every day. That's what Megan did. She cried every day going to school, every day coming home from school. I was also another bookmark incident was when someone wrote Tommy and wrote that I was a spider, and that the shortest kid in the school went splot to the spider, and they went surreal, surreal, and it's like Surreal's dad. That was just sickening. Another thing is, in fifth grade, in fifth grade, I was an outcast. I hung out. You know, it's like I was the loser of the class. I was like the only loser. I was the biggest loser in school at first. It was just me, a kid called Cecil, Greg, Eddie, Jacob, and Nick. It was all 6 of us. We're all together. Cecil left after 5th grade, or Cecil left after 4th grade. I'm still in contact with him, but then Nick was a little here and there out, and then it was just all 4 of us, and then I left the group to go start playing sports. I liked playing football at recess, and then people started making fun of my new friends. There was a really big kid who I used to hang out with, and then they said, one person said he's weak, and then they said, he has the mind of a peanut. Those 2 kids who made fun of him, they said, Jimmy, he has the mind of a peanut. I would love to see them fight Jimmy, because Jimmy was a lot stronger than them. They said, he has the mind of a peanut. I don't know what they're trying to get at there, but that's actually kind of mean, saying that someone who's big and strong has the mind of a peanut. In middle school, I was alright. A lot of other people hated me, and then in high school, this is going to sound crazy, but Megan was the same like me. Megan had ADD, I have ADD and autism disability. That's about time I give this part. I changed in high school because I wanted to fit in. And here's what happened. I cared more about what other people thought of me than what I thought of me. And then Megan wanted to fit in. So she wanted to fit in with the popular kids, so I think she brought the popular kids candy to buy friendship. Now, this is a lesson to all of you. Don't try to buy friendship. I used to try to do that. There was a friend I really missed, but he quit being my friend, and I wanted to give him $20 at one point for him to be my friend. But there are things money can't buy, and that's one of them. Friendship, love, honor. You have to earn that. But I changed in high school. Started hanging around with the cool kids because I cared more about what other people thought of me than what I thought of me. So I decided to try to fit in, and I did in the end. But then after that, me and my friend would it seemed like no one cared because I got hurt by this kid on YouTube. Now this is disgusting. Listen to this carefully. He said, the first thing he ever said to me is, I think this kid is a fucking retard. He's got nothing to show than hate. Watching a fat ass retard molest his dog. Show a picture of his fat nasty ass bitch and AC/DC all in one day. He's a fucking retard. Hey fat ass, AC/DC sucks my cunt and you need to die because I think all retards need to die. And then damn, you're an ugly son of a bitch. Then he said this part, and this was the worst of them all. I know people from your school. Your GF is not a bikini model. She's a fat fucking retard just like you, except she goes to that school and you go to this school. Or except she goes to this school and you go to that school. And she doesn't want to marry you. She wants to marry a big black guy with a huge dick you can see from space named Bubba and suck it till it's dry. Make a video about that, you dumb fucking retard. You know, judging to what he said about that, he or she, whatever it was, that person could have gotten their I heard that you can be suspended, or that if they would have found out who it was, you can get arrested or have your internet taken away for taunting someone like that. If their parents if his parents or her parents, whatever the fuck it was, would have found out about that, I bet they would have revoked that person's internet. My friend said if that would have been his kid, he would have kicked them out of the house and taken away everything and sold like his or her computer, iPhone or iPod, and taken it away and smashed it all. And then they would have taken away the bed and made him sleep on the floor. That would be a punishment. But stay up to date and subscribe. Stay tuned for some more Megan Meier videos. Alright, bye. Peace.